So you just got an offer at a new company? It's your dream job. You've been waiting to work at a company like this for your entire career. You get an email in your inbox saying, welcome to the family. You're more than excited. Months go by, you're working your ass off at this company, you're doing whatever they tell you to do, you're enjoying it, and then what do you know? You get a phone call that says, I'm sorry, we had to let you go. You start to think, what happened? The company doesn't love me. Yeah, that's because nobody loves you. All right, I'm playing. I love you. All right, I'm actually kidding again. I don't love you, but I do care for you. And I want you to understand that the company you work for is not your family, and you have to stop thinking them as such. We've all been in this situation, and I want to make sure you have a better time at your next company or your next opportunity you work at by going in with better expectations. So the first thing for you to understand is that a company is going to call you a part of their work family for a reason. And honestly, on their side, a very good reason. They want you to stay at the company. They're gonna give you perks, benefits, nights out, game nights, all of those things, free drinks, whatever, you can name them all, as a way of getting you to stay at the company. Because the more comfortable you are at this position, the more likely you're going to wanna stay. And they hired you and they're paying you for a reason. They obviously want you to stay. This also goes hand in hand with their idea of company culture. Very likely, they wanna reinforce their company culture. And if they feel and are telling everyone that they're a family, that only strengthens that company culture idea. So it makes sense from their end why they would call you a part of their family and all that, but it also makes sense on your end for why you need to understand that this is nonsense. Now, when I say that this is nonsense, I'm not saying that you can't become great friends or build relationships at your company. I would say the opposite. I'd say, especially as a young adult, making friends at your company could be a great place to make friends, especially when there's no other places around you to do so. But what I am saying is you need to understand your place in the company and the role you have in that company. So you first need to understand that the company can let you go whenever they desire, but the same for you. You can leave whenever you want. But if the company can do that, it doesn't really sound like much of a family. Growing up with my mom and dad, if I did something wrong, they wouldn't remove me from the family. Now, I apologize if this actually has happened to you with your actual family, but we're not going to be talking about that in this video. So there's also the topic of HR. Now, I've heard countless stories of people saying that HR did not actually act in the employee's interests. Employee complains about something really bad that happened to them within the company, and HR's interest was not aligned with their interests. At the end of the day, HR works for the company and not you. HR is doing what will benefit the company, not benefit you. Now, this isn't me saying that you should never utilize HR, but you should understand exactly where HR falls. And really, I want to emphasize the fact that don't be afraid to use HR if something bad happens to you at a company or you have a complaint to talk about. But just understand that it might not go your way when talking to HR. Another thing is talking to other employees or members at the company and being careful about what you say to them, because information always spreads around, especially at really small companies, but even at big companies. Something you say to another person will be said to another. So be careful there. I remember at one of my jobs, there were things I was telling one of my bosses, and it was actually being written down in a document. Nothing bad actually came of this, but when I found the document and saw what he was writing, I was like, wow, I really need to keep my mouth shut. At the end of the day, companies are going to do whatever they can to make you feel welcomed. And this sounds super great, and it really is super great, but just understand why they do it and how that's going to affect you. Be able to place boundaries at your job. Be able to understand that people you work with are just fellow employees. They're not your family. And if you just met them especially, they're definitely not your friends yet. So when it comes to problems with HR, the fact that the company can remove you whenever they want, gossip spreading around the workplace that can potentially lead to problems and drama, this really doesn't sound like a family to me. Not anything close to it. Families stay together. Companies do not. Be able to place boundaries and understand exactly the position you're in. Anyways, I'm Mike. Thanks for watching. Do you agree with anything I said in this video? If you don't, or you do agree, leave a comment below. See you guys next time.